Hello and welcome to this special show on Rajya Sabha television, wherein we bring you all the details about the fight against COVID-19, be it the technological interventions or the development of vaccines or even drugs which are being researched upon to try and either boost the immunity or fight COVID-19. So today we're going to talk about one such drug, that's Remdesivir, and this is a drug which has been developed by Gilead Sciences. It has been given an emergency approval by the US FDA to go ahead and treat patients who've been infected with COVID-19. Although this was manufactured in 2014 for Ebola patients, and later on was tried on SARS and MERS patients as well. For more details, we have with us a distinguished panel of guests today. Let me first introduce the guest to you, beginning with Professor N.K. Ganguly. He is the former director of ICMR and visiting professor of eminence at several institutes. We also have with us Dr. Vishwakarma. He is the director of CSIR-Indian Institute of Integrated Medicine, and Ms. Aparna Mukherjee, the scientist from ICMR, joining us as well. So let me begin with you, Professor Ganguly, and let's try and understand. Several drugs are being talked about, and there is a lot of research going on as well. But today we're going to talk specifically about Remdesivir. What exactly is this drug?
Yeah, exactly, Vishal. This is a nucleotide, and this nucleotide prevents the RNA synthetic part of the virus, so virus doesn't replicate. It also prevents editing, so the mutation doesn't occur. There's one of the drugs on pressure of which no mutation occurs. This drug was in vitro in the test tubes and the laboratory, has worked against not only corona SARS-1, it has worked against MERS, it has worked against COVID-19, as well as some animal coronaviruses. This was first tried by Chinese at the end of it. It didn't succeed against Ebola. It was worked against many viruses, Marburg, etc., but it was not that successful. However, the Chinese tried it in late February, early March. They published it in a very obscure journal. Later on, they published it in Lancet, which came out just now. There was a marginal advantage there. Another paper came in the New England Journal of Medicine. There was 52% advantage. But the path-breaking study came from two places. One was NIAID, supported by NIH. Another was Stanford. It was seen that if you give it for 5 days, it was as good as 10 days. And about 60%, 63% of people could, with the 5 days drug, could go back in 14 days, go back homes. And about 53% who were given for 10 days, they went back home. This was also seen that there was a definite advantage of 30% or more, that patient didn't have to go to ventilators. Again, the virus replication was also slowed down. And it was seen that ultimately one of the parameters didn't work that well. This was about 4% advantage on the survival between the placebo group. This was a randomized clinical trial. This was the first group of randomized clinical trial with appropriate placebos, which was done. Previous studies were collection of the data, but they were not randomized clinical trial. So this was very successful. Two data were joined, and it was around 1,000 subjects when you joined the two data. But now 2 more data sets are coming from US. When they will be joined, they will publish it. It was actually in between analysis with the permission of ethics committee. The DSMB allowed it, and they put it in their website. NIH has put it in their website, Gilead has put in their website, Stanford has put it in their website. So there is no publication. So many people somebody was bothering me yesterday whole day that it has not been published and how you are taking it. But it was putting in the website of NIH itself is very big thing. And FDA for the first time, no drug, previously every drug was given compassionate clinical trial permission. This drug is the only drug where they have given compassionate approval to use. So I think there's a big thing. I want to say one more thing, if you permit me.
Please go ahead.
Today in UK, another trial has started. It is of the beta interferon. This was known as beta seron. This many years back, this was the only drug for multiple sclerosis. Now there are several others, but at that time it was not produced not enough, so United States didn't allow it to be exported. So India didn't do this trial. Later on, it also worked on the viral myocarditis. So here it is not only antiviral, it is also a very strong immunomodulator. So, so taking courage from them, they have started this trial, and if this trial succeeds, this beta seron could be given with the remdesivir, and you could get better results.
Okay, so there it is, some good news coming out there. Let me bring in Dr. Vishwakarma. On Remdesivir, Dr. Vishwakarma, your views as to, how effective can this drug be given the, details which are put in here by Professor Ganguly and which are there in public domain as well?
Yeah, so I think Dr. Ganguly has summarized it very nicely. This is a good news. This is not the best news. But in the situation that we are right now, I think this is as good as it gets where we are today. 31% faster time of recovery is a very meaningful in terms of severe patients. And also the shortening of duration of discharge from hospital and viral load going down and other symptom going down. So I think it will save a lot of lives. So I would say that this is the good news. And the doses also are quite reasonable. So they are giving 200 milligram first day and then 100 milligram for next 9-10 days. So total, a person will consume around 1 gram of the drug during the treatment, because this drug is very expensive. This drug is going to cost, as of now, today, $4,500 per cycle of treatment in the United States of America, which is works out to 3.5 lakhs corresponding to Indian situation. So I think this is the issue, and now the effort is on with the several pharmaceutical companies in India. Gilead has announced that they will give voluntary licenses worldwide to pharmaceutical industry. And since most of the manufacturing companies are in this country and China, so I think we are in a better position that many of these companies, around 8 companies have been till date approached by Gilead, Indian companies which will manufacture this drug. And the good news is that in CSIR, our lab in Hyderabad, IICT Hyderabad, in fact, 1 month ago, they developed a scale-up of synthesis of this drug. So we have a method of synthesis. We are in discussion with 3 companies in Hyderabad for large-scale synthesis. So in case some emergency situation comes or pricing are not enough, I think Government of India take a call at that point of the time. Either we negotiate the price, or at the last resort, can we go to compulsory licensing and make it available to our own people at affordable price. So I think this is one good news that has come in last 1.5 months, I would say. And we are all waiting for the publication to come. But what Dr. Ganguly said very rightly, once the NIH puts its own website and FDA gives approval, I think there is no question about the efficacy or safety of the drug.
Okay, no question about the efficacy of the safety of the drug, as both the panelists are pointing out. And we'll go to that pricing and the scaling of production part a little later. But let me first bring in Ms. Mukherjee here from ICMR. Ms. Aparna Mukherjee, if we look at the efficacy of the drug part, what is ICMR's position on Remdesivir as of now? And we also know that India is part of the solidarity trials which are going on.
The solidarity trial has one arm which has Remdesivir. So that is going to give us a clearer picture regarding its efficacy and safety. And as of the results that are coming in now, US results are encouraging, but that is a interim analysis and we need more inputs to actually know whether it's efficacious. And vis-a-vis the Chinese trial actually showed that there was no such improvement in the remdesivir arm. So if we really get robust proof that it is efficacious and safe also, then it could be used as when the affordability issue is cleared out.
Okay, so robust proof is one of the issues here. Professor Ganguly, on this aspect only, what more can be done in terms of ensuring that the efficacy of the drug, those questions which are raised or which are already there, because when research on a drug goes on, obviously there will be questions. So to ensure that the efficacy of the drug is unquestionable and there is more robust proof?
I will like to say, because that's why I first quoted the Chinese trial, it was not an RCT. There was a comparator arm, but it was not an RCT. And it was done very early, right in the February and others, the design, etc. But Chinese data was published by everyone at that time, even without strong peer reviews, because at that time they had the patients only. So this is about 1,000 patients. Ultimately, we will have 4,700 patients when all the centers in France and 2 centers in China and 4 centers in US, all of this data, when it will be accumulated, we will know. But at this time, one of the best thing over here is this, that we can use it only for 5 days. 5 days was more efficacious than 10 days. So ultimately, you are giving less amount of drug. So safety issues also come down. And I'm very sure, like in most antivirals, there will be another entity which will be added to this. There is one more drug, favipiravir, which is not in the realm of the patents over here. Glenmark has been given the license and they will be producing it. And favipiravir, as far as Toyoma is concerned, Japanese and other places, it has shown results. So there will be added thing over here, India producing it, because at this given time, India can produce any drug within a week or within 10 days. However, our main effort at this moment is that Gilead gives open licenses to Indian companies so that they make it. If we really synthesize it, it will have to be done under Compulsory Licensing Act. At this given moment, how the world is, we will not like to do that. It will be the last resort, because Gilead has provided us the hepatitis C at a very concessional fashion, and they are providing free the anti-leishmania liposomal amphotericin B. So they were already, as Dr. Vishwakarma said, they are already in conversation with the several Indian companies, and it is likely that they will give open license. Because if they don't give open license, India, as Dr. Vishwakarma said, India will produce it in a jiffy. It is already, as he said, already Indian companies have created the API. And the major drug companies can produce it then under open licensing, as we had done for the antiretroviral HIV/AIDS thing.
Dr. Vishwakarma, as far as I remember, also made the same point.
I'm saying, what are the options available to the country? We are dealing with an emergency of last 100 years or 200 years or 300 years. We are not living in normal times. If this graph in India keep on going, and like I quoted here, there will be negotiation with the company, there will be price situation, and we have 2 type of population in our country. We have middle class, which can afford the price, but there is 80% of the people who cannot afford this price. So there are only 2 options left. One option is government of India buy this drug and subsidize, and government has done it before for malaria and other programs. Or we invoke the compulsory licensing that way did in the HIV. So it's a potential possibility. I'm laying down the pathway that is available to us, and Gilead also knows, and all company knows. And this is the under WTO agreement. This is the right India has India has kept with itself.
And definitely, that is for the policy makers and the decision makers to
Yeah,
go ahead.
actually,
We'll pass that bridge when we reach there. But I'll come back to you, Professor Ganguly. But let me first take one more comment from Dr. Vishwakarma here on the efficacy part, as Ms. Mukherjee was pointing out. Maybe should we go ahead and wait for some more robust proof before putting all our hopes on Remdesivir?
No, so I don't think we should wait. FDA of United States is a gold standard as far as drugs are concerned. And if that body says that it is efficacious in limited sense, again, I'm repeating, it's not full-fledged approval. It is only based on a phase 2 trial. It's a conditional approval. So there is a lot of pharmacovigilance will happen, therapeutic index will come, and we must keep in mind the Lancet study that is published, and this paper will come. This debate will going on. Like I told you, we are not living in normal times. So like, for example, hydroxychloroquine came up. And now, same day when Remdesivir was approved by FDA, American Association of Physician and Surgeon issued a statement that hydroxychloroquine is working in 90% of the patient. So that's the other reality on the other side. So there is a competition between these two medications. I will repeat it here. Both these medications are efficacious, but depends on what window you are using, what window doctors are using it. It is not active. For example, somebody is tested positive and you start giving without symptom, you start giving Remdesivir, it may not work that efficiently. But early phases, hydroxychloroquine works well. This works when there is a critical situation, when somebody is in ICU, their situation is more, viral load is more. This works. At least it reduces 31% time frame for some doctors to intervene and recover the patient. So I would say that India should start using this.
Okay, so it brings down the recovery period, and this is as good as it gets. Ms. Mukherjee, do you agree that it is as good as it gets in terms of the options which we have right now, specifically for critically ill patients?
It is a good option and a hopeful option, but India is also a part of the solidarity trial. So anyway, patients will be receiving Remdesivir, and we will get the data very quick, and we could then judge that whether it is efficacious, and such a countrywide rollout could be required or possible.
Okay, so we will have to wait for that data coming from the solidarity trials. Professor Ganguly, coming back to you on the several drug options which are there available, and one of them you just mentioned that UK is working on, and if that happens, then there will be another very good option which might be available to the doctors to go ahead and treat COVID-19 patients. So if you have to sum it up, Remdesivir is where in that lineup of drugs which are available right now to go ahead and treat patients infected with COVID-19 virus?
Actually, if we really look at it, this is the only option at the moment available, because hydroxychloroquine had shown a lot of problems. The Didier study in France showed some advantages, but the two studies which were done in US and then were published, there the hydroxychloroquine group, the death was 23% and the placebo group was 11%. The problem, although it brings down the viral load, the problem here is this, that very large serious adverse events and deaths which occur, particularly those who have cardiac problem or renal problem in them. And so the Brazil had to stop the trial. Brazil banned it. The now United States, the US FDA has taken it out of their listing, and Sweden has banned it. And so it has to be given very carefully under strong medical supervision, as Dr. Vishwakarma has said. And in the solidarity trial is now outdated. WHO made it at a time when the results were not out. It will have to be revised. We can't live on that solidarity trial anymore. So I will not go into that, but what I will say here, that normally antivirals are given in combination, as it happens in the AIDS. When Previously, only one drug was given, then two drugs were started. But when three drugs showed better results, this was actually the two drug trial was stopped by the ethics committee, and the three drug combination was given over there. So here definitely other combinations will come at this given moment. There are several other ones. There is one Indian repurposed drug which had shown better than remdesivir. I cannot name the company and I cannot name the compound because it's a privileged information. Its IC50 is much better than, and it works under several other targets. So this is a very famous Indian startup, and it has put in several things to the major companies, and this is something which is very exciting. So more and more repurposing will be done. New drugs will take a lot of time. So we do not have that kind of a time with us. So at this given moment, we will be closely watching the trials which are going on. Now the RCTs are possible. Previously, the time was so less. People actually accumulated the patient's data and then published it. So nobody was trying to accept those trial results because if they are not randomized clinical trials and there were not enough subjects previously, if you had 60 subjects, 170 subjects or 300 odd subjects, you published it and people and journals published it. However, acceptance was very limited. In the remdesivir, the acceptance has occurred, and the FDA peer review is one of the strongest peer review, as Dr. Vishwakarma said. So at this given moment, we have this option, but there are other trials which are going on. But beta interferon is a tried and tested drug for antivirals. And it has been combined with many antivirals in cases of hepatitis and other instances. So beta interferon it is not alpha interferon, which is normally used as a drug. Beta seron is something which is used in the special circumstances. It not only boosts innate immunity, it is an immunomodulator, and it is a strong antiviral, and some of the viruses which hide. This particular virus also hides in the asymptomatics, and as we know that when the reinfection has occurred, at that particular time, the reactivation has occurred. And because of the reactivation, this virus is a very tricky virus. And interferon will be able to really take care of that because this is produced inside the cells.
Okay. Dr. Vishwakarma, concluding comments from you on these two aspects, as Professor Ganguly has elaborately pointed out in terms of two factors, that the combinations, drugs will have to be used in combinations, that's one, and two, repurposing of drugs is the solution here, something which your organization also did in terms of Sepsivac.
Yeah, so I think there is no question about that there will be a combination of drug like it happened in HIV. So I foresee it's a combination of 2-3 drugs. As we are getting more understanding of viral biology, because this is a new player, and I think thanks to science globally, we know much better today about this virus. So I'm looking at that there will be 2 or 3 drugs will come. One more interesting drug is coming on the horizon, which many people are not talking about. Day before yesterday, the US, Canada, and Spain has started a trial of 6,000 patients on a drug which is very commonly used all over the world. And India is one of the largest suppliers, is a drug called colchicine, which is used for gout. And this 6,000 patient trial has started. Stanford has started, California, Montreal, and Madrid. So there are a lot of, as biology is coming out, the window between first response of the immune system followed by second response of immune system, which is much more dangerous for the human being, there will be this opportunity coming out. And also in terms of the combination opportunity, I would say that a lot of big pharmaceutical company have jumped into drug development now. Now I am much more hopeful that when Pfizer has started a program or J&J has started a program and other companies have started a program, the development pathway will be much, much faster than early first month or 1.5 month that we struggled. So I would see next 1 month or 1.5 months, we will have at least 3-4 more favipiravir. Dr. Ganguly was saying 3 or 4 molecules coming on a horizon, and when we study them in combination in a clinical trial situation, we'll have much better situation to deal with this virus. And then while we wait for ultimately emergence of a good vaccine and immunomodulator.
So there it is, as our panelists, Dr. Vishwakarma, Professor Ganguly, and Ms. Mukherjee has pointed out. As far as Remdesivir is concerned, there are obviously promising results out there coming in from the trial so far. 30% enhancement in the recovery rate of the patients. Although we will wait for more robust proof in the forthcoming trials as well. And as we go ahead and understand this particular virus more, we will be able to go ahead and repurpose drugs to try and find better cure in the time to come, as our panelists and experts are suggesting every day. So clearly, what we'll have to do here is, for me and you, we will have to keep continuing taking our protective measures, our own safeguards in terms of personal hygiene, in terms of following the social distancing norms, using masks when we step out. And this is what will help us in the long run, apart from obviously drugs and vaccines, which our scientists and researchers and doctors are working on so far. We'll come back again with a different topic. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television. Stay safe.